Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine on the Navy Radio Network as the men's getting set for Army coming up in men's track and field. A reminder, we will have live coverage of the Army-Navy meet coming up this Saturday on Patriot League TV. Joe Miller will join me for all of the coverage with Stefano Pineda. All right, they give you this long, big pole when you're back in high school. They tell you to run down that runway, plant that pole, and put your body somehow over this bar that's sitting up in the air. How does somebody get involved in pole vaulting?
Well, first of all, it is by no means a long pole when you're starting in high school. I was holding about 6 feet high, just trying to not break myself and collapse. But yeah, you start just holding low and really just on the ground first. You don't really even bring it to the pit until you've been doing some drills for about a week, I'd say. I really started from the ground and then had to build up. But yeah, I wasn't good at high jump, which is where I started, and my coach was like, I mean, you're not really contributing. Why don't you go try pole vault? And yeah, that's how I ended up.
I was going to say, usually you end up over as a thrower, or in this case with the pole vault, because there's usually not a ton of people over there doing that. Did you have any want for track and field before you got to the charter school at all?
So in middle school, I was a high jumper and an 800-mile runner. Then I also did cross country in the mix too. But when I got to high school, I was still playing soccer and trying to play basketball. Got cut from basketball. I tried to play tennis, got cut from tennis, and then it was like track. Track was my calling. They would take me on the team. Now, I could contribute.
How long did it take you to start to master some of the discipline with pole vault? Because look, I mean, to enjoy something, to keep at it, you got to start to finally have some success. How long did it take you to start finding some success with that event?
So start to master, I would hesitate to say that I've started to master anything in the pole vault at this point. I've jumped 5'10", which is it's okay for some colleges. It's pretty good here. Like it's a decent jump, but mastery, there's still a long way to go. And I'd say like when you start bending the pole, that's when you feel like you're doing something right. That's when like you have that turning point when you start bending the pole. And I was somewhere around sophomore year in high school.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, you got to 5.10. How did it feel to get that and set another new mark for yourself to go out there and shoot for?
Honestly, it was a rewarding feeling. You're always pushing for that next PR. You're always trying to jump a little bit higher, and when you finally break your old personal best, like it's a really rewarding feel. Really rewarding feeling. Even if I don't show it, I usually get up off the pit completely unaffected, but I definitely feel it on the inside.
Is this an easy week to stay grounded, or do you feel the excitement as you're wearing the Letterman sweater this week as you all get set to take on Army?
I'd say both. It's easy to feel grounded because you have your teammates, you know what you're working towards, and you've been working towards this goal for a long time. But then the excitement is inevitable. Like, this is the culmination of the indoor season for us. Beating Army is the culmination, and we will do it because we have to.
You have done it both indoors and outdoors. Is there a great difference between pole vaulting indoors and outdoors?
There isn't a great difference, but there are definitely more variables when you're jumping outside. You could have cold weather, you could have wind, and when you're inside, it's a lot more predictable. So most of the variables that you're bringing in are with you, with how you feel and how you've eaten and how you've trained in the past couple of days, and that's where the variables come in indoors.
You know, outdoors, do you have to change much of your technique? Say, for instance, if it is a little bit colder, or say you got 15 to 20 mile an hour winds that are out there swirling around on a particular day, as you can find here in the Northeast.
So it's not exclusive to indoor-outdoor. There are always variables with pole vault. I typically bring a stack of poles out on my shoulder with like 5-10 poles, just because I know you start warming up and you feel cold, you're not running fast, and as you keep going and as the adrenaline hits you, as the competition starts building up, you start performing better, you rise to the occasion, and you need to like keep on getting on bigger and bigger poles so you can perform and get that next bar, get that PR. That's the way you do it. You just need to be adapting the whole time, regardless of whether there's wind or whether there's weather. You need to account for that too, but the whole time it's a very dynamic process, and you're always moving up and trying to build towards something better.
All right, Saturday all about just getting another star on that sweater?
It's not just the star. This means much more than the star. This is for the team. This is for this is what we've been working for all year. The star is just a representation of what's something much deeper, something that means a lot more to all of us on the team.
All right, great stuff. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday against Army. All right, Stefano Pineda joining us. Reminder, we're on the air starting at 11:30 Saturday morning on the Patriot League Network, as we'll bring you live coverage throughout both the men's and women's meets. And, of course, as always, for more information about Navy track and field and the other 33 varsity sports here at the Academy, go to NavySports.com.